see at the movies to see the Conjuring Last Rites. I'm kind of excited because I haven't seen all the films in the Conjuring verse, but the ones I have seen I've really enjoyed, and I find the whole story about Ed and Lorraine Warren to be very fascinating. And yeah, so I'm excited to get to see the final chapter in the Conjuring universe, or at least that's what they say is the final chapter in the Conjuring universe. Because I know they've been like toying around with some other ideas within the Conjuring verse, but I think this is at least the last one where they'll feature the Ed and Lorraine Warren characters. But I know that they've like they were toying with the idea of like a Crooked Man film, but apparently that ended up not happening for some reason, and then there were a couple others. But yeah, I'm super excited to see the Conjuring Last Rites. Oh, and I also want to say I am actually wearing that Edward Cullen lip kit to the Conjuring Last Rites, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm living for it. I love it. And yeah, maybe I'll probably do like a full like review or tutorial or something like that on it. But yeah, so possibly stay tuned for that. But yeah, in the meantime, I am going to see The Conjuring and then give you a review of the film. Hey there, Tiffany here, and this is another day of my 31 days of Halloween. Now, I am coming to you from my hotel room that I am staying at as I am going to the Mothman Festival this weekend. And in the meantime, while I am here, I am filming a bunch of stuff in my hotel room, including a couple of things for my 31 days of Halloween and my skit / short film Lost in a Nightmare, that it's a 3-parter, and I filmed part 1 here in the hotel room. Now, I had originally had certain ideas for part 1, but the circumstances of like my hotel, the way things are positioned, and the fact that there's like people walking around outside everywhere, because it's kind of like one of those outdoor hotels, not one of those hotels where you walk outside your room and there's a hallway. These are one of those outdoor hotels. So what I had originally wrote my original script, it was more appropriate for like an indoor hotel where there may not be like a ton of cars and people around, and you can find an actual like corridor or place to do something in, but that just ended up not being the case here. However, I managed to salvage it, because sometimes when you're doing these things independently, you just got to work with what you got. And I did, and I came up with like this idea that I think will end up working out even better for the Lost in a Nightmare trilogy that I'm making. So, however, I brought this costume to wear for the skit, but like I said, what I originally had planned didn't quite work. However, I brought the costume, so I was going to wear it. So I'm wearing it for this review and my review of The Conjuring Last Rites. Now, The Conjuring Last Rites is said to be the final film in the Conjuring verse, at least the ones that concern Ed and Lorraine Warren. Because there are talks of a Conjuring TV series. So it's not going to be totally, it's supposedly not going to be totally the end, but it might be the end of the movies that involve Ed and Lorraine Warren, or Vera and Patrick, the actors that played them. So yeah, but this one kind of has people divided. It seems like people either absolutely love it or they're kind of like, not really. Um, Not that they actually hate the film, at least this is among the people that I know, but they just didn't feel like it was the best send off. And the movie actually, it's about the Smurl family and their Ed and Lorraine Warren's case with the Smurl family. And and if you watch the documentary about it, about what happened, you know, I enjoyed. I enjoyed the film. I did enjoy. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed Patrick and Vera as Ed and Lorraine, as usual. I think they do a phenomenal job portraying Ed and Lorraine Warren. I also enjoyed the actress and that played their daughter Judy. I also, and then their future son-in-law. I thought everybody did a pretty good job. Acting, I liked the atmosphere that was set, and I liked that they kind of started out the film um, showing a very young Ed and Lorraine Warren when they were on a case and Lorraine was actually pregnant with their daughter, and it takes you through how they almost lost their daughter in childbirth, but then Judy was revived, and then she went on to not only live with them as their daughter, but witness their many, many, many cases. And I did not think it was scary though. I thought that it was intense. That's how I would describe it. I would describe Conjuring Last Rites, I would describe it as more intense than scary. There was some creepiness to it, but it didn't, like, for me, it didn't really have as much of like the drawn out tension and just that whole, okay, we're going to set all of this, we're really going to set the scenes here, the way they did in like the first Conjuring, the second Conjuring films. But I still enjoyed it. I still thought that it was, a pretty good way to end it. I mean, could it have been better? Sure. But overall, like I said, I did not hate the film. I'm not mad at the film. I enjoyed the film. I just wouldn't say it was the scariest Conjuring film, but you know, I would say it was more of like an action-packed film with horror elements, if that makes sense. But it definitely has, the spiritual elements. It has the elements of mystery. It does have some elements of mystery, but I would say it's more kind of like I said, I think the best way to describe it is more of like an action-packed film with horror elements in it, as opposed to like horror with action elements in it. Because for me, the action elements were more strong than the horror and scare factor. But there were still definitely creepy moments, don't get me wrong. But just not in the same way as, say, like the very first Conjuring film, because that film still freaks me out. but but yeah, but like I said, I overall enjoyed it. if you enjoy the Conjuring series, yeah, I mean, I would say check it out. I mean, it's doing very well at the box office, and yeah, I do recommend checking it out. So yeah, so what did you think of the Conjuring Last Rites? If you've seen it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, and just like kind of like what do you think of like some of the spiritual messages behind it? I really, like I said, I enjoy, kind of like delving into that part of it too. Just because there's just so much to unpack with, with so many with things like, things of that nature, which that's a whole nother video. But but yeah, but Conjuring Last Rites, if you're a fan of the Conjuring films, I would say, yeah, go see it. Are you going to be super scared? Probably not. But, might you enjoy it? Sure. Especially if you like things that maybe are a little bit more action packed. So, all right, so those were my thoughts on The Conjuring Last Rites. And yeah, love to hear your thoughts. And I am uploading every single day in the month of October for my 31 days of Halloween. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching and take care.